everyone, and welcome to the HRL MT season grand final. This is going to be the first race, Brands Hatch RX. And I'll say in the beginning of this one, I'm pretty tired at the time of recording this. I'm doing it in the morning after basically no sleep. Several days after the fact too. I didn't go full in on the commentary the night of because it was pretty late then, and I was pretty pretty done at that point too. So wanted to do it after the fact, but I'm not going to promise the highest of energy in these commentaries either. But I'm sick of waiting, and I want to get them out there. So trying to do it now, but rolling through the track, taking a look at the Joker here. So Brands Hatch, I went through it in the preview. This was supposed to be a go-kart track in the short track showdown, so immediately way smaller. I think we're going to be going green here too in a moment whenever the natives dropped. Way smaller than most of the other RXs in the season. There we go. Green flag. It's the thing that really sets it apart from them, so should switch up this race quite a bit compared to some of the other ones. Oh, a little bit of wall contact for Camby there. It's always going to be tough off the start. You see that split line, which actually works out better than I thought it would. I wasn't too sure on the balance on that one, but after doing the race, actually seemed to work out pretty decent. Way better than this one. That being said, I didn't expect the outside to have too much merit in that last corner. Maybe if we ever race this track again, I might mix it up a little bit. Probably wouldn't change this one though, because again, I think this one actually works out really well. Can actually maintain full speed around the outside right there without bogging. It's difficult to do, but you can actually maintain your speed with no bog that entire portion of the track from the finish to the first neg camber. Not easy to do, but if you do it, it's very quick and probably the fastest way around. But definitely harder than it probably looks. So tricky thing to do, but it is something that you can do, and if you master it, you can definitely put down some really good lap times. I think Detail leading right now, having that benefit for the start, as we usually tend to do. We tend to do invert for most of the season, but for grand finals, for the first race at least, tend to do based on the seeding of the regular season, just to give a little bit. I mean, there's already the points advantage, but that's just for the regular season points. That's kind of its own separate thing. As far as the grand finals goes, it's basically a full reset for everybody. So that first race seeding kind of offers a little bit of an advantage, and Detail trying to take advantage of it out front right now. And yeah, obviously it's not. I mean, the rest of the races get inverted, and it's a long night, and there's 4 races, so it's not like it's the biggest advantage. Luke making a mistake there. Slaunch and Roman going to close in on the bumper. It's going to be a really close battle for second. That's unfortunate timing too, because it looked like it was going to be a close battle for the lead for a moment, but now, yeah, it's that second place battle, and that really gives Detail a lot of breathing room. I think Roman was making an attempt on Slaunch there too, so, and there's a lot of battling going on. Camby, Soul, iPod really close here too, so a lot of positions, a lot of battles so far, which is what I was hoping to see at this track, because again, a bit different than many of the RXs that we had this season. This one is very much a short track. Especially when compared with a lot of the other tracks this season, right? We have not, after going from the short track showdown, aside from the terrain ovals, obviously, we have not had many short tracks in mixed terrain naturally, right? Obviously the MXs aren't, short track MX isn't really a thing, right? Like a 1 minute long lap time is a short track for an MX, so it's not really a thing. The pure terrain, there could be a couple, but most of them were at least intermediate length, I'd say, or Joker there. Yeah, and then the RXs, a lot of our RXs seem to be 50 seconds to a minute, which, to be fair, I mean, that's pretty standard for RXs, I would say, too. I feel a lot of them tend to be about that lap time. So yeah, outside of the terrain ovals, not too many short tracks, obviously very different and very fresh. coming off the short track showdown, but I think that having this track and having it, be in that style was kind of a welcome, unique refresher for the grand final. Switch things up a little bit. Going through the Joker there, it's Soul and an iPod. That's probably another thing I'd switch up. I'd probably make the, if we ever do this one again, I'd probably make the Joker more rogue, make it more unique. I don't know, maybe add some more bumpiness to it. Yeah, probably adjust the last corner, adjust that. I probably wouldn't change too much else because honestly, I like the rest of it. Pretty happy with how this track turned out, considering I don't really, outside of Terrain Oval, I don't really enjoy forging for the gooses anymore. I don't know, just a combination of things. Mainly, like, tell you the truth, just the fact that so many goose tracks have been made, like, not even just, talking about myself, but just in general, right? Like, for, been doing goose tracks. We've been doing goose tracks as a community for so long, and there's just so many made. And yeah, so when it comes to these and when it comes to Forge, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of burnt out. Don't really get the inspiration for it as much. So this is, going to be a rare Forge for me at this point. With this type of track. So yeah, I don't feel as like keyed in on it as I used to. So I'm glad that this seemed to turn out pretty decent. I like that. Camby was running a bit of a different line right there. It seemed like it might have actually gave him a little bit of time on Slodge. Like the first corner, very, very tricky. You can, Camby hit a big gopher right there. Almost went down. I barely caught it. That was, wow, that was close. That was a big save out of Camby right there. That would have been terrible. If he went down. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't completely gopher. Like, usually we use that term when you don't see anything and you wreck. I mean, you could see the bump that he hit. That being said, it didn't look like that aggressive of a bump. I'm surprised he got such a big reaction out of it. But hey, such is the terrain series, right? I mean, that's type of stuff. I mean, that's just kind of the comes with the territory with this type of series. It's kind of the thing that we knew going into it. Stuff like that has played a role in many of the races, and it's kind of just like a factor, right? And just trying to navigate it the best that you can, trying to react to it the best that you can when things do happen that are kind of unexpected. It's just kind of part of the name of the game, part of the series. Working our way down here. I want to say we're probably getting pretty close-ish to like halfway at this point. I think Camby had another close call with a two-wheel right there popping out of the rut. Just a lot of close calls for Camby right now. Doing a good job of keeping it going, though. Keeping it on, well, I was going to say keeping it on 4, but went off 4 wheels. Getting it back on 4 wheels. Doing a good job of getting it back on 4 wheels. There we go. Not necessarily doing a great job of keeping it there, but getting it back there when he needs to. Put it that way. It's a little more accurate. Seems like a lot of the drivers are really holding on to their jokers here. I feel like we haven't really seen too many, especially out of the top runners, but in general too. Yeah, it feels like a lot of people are waiting on the joker, which isn't too surprising considering you have so many laps to work with, right? On a small track, like you're gonna expect more varied joker strategy on a short track RX because of the fact that you have more laps at play, so there's more opportunities for you to take those 2 jokers, right? Whereas we do like what was the last one that I made, Utah, where I want to say was it a 9-lapper? I might have, no, I don't think that track was that long. But we've done use a different comparison. Like we did like the grand final for the RX series, like we did Oklahoma. That one was like a 9 or 8 lapper, I want to say. And that that track was very big. And it really limits the one downside of that for RX for having those big tracks is that it does limit the joker strategy quite a bit, right? Because you only have so many laps to work with. Like you have to take 2 jokers. There's freaking 8 laps in a race. There's not a whole lot of room for strategy. I mean, when you take it, don't get me wrong, still makes a big difference. And there's definitely still strategy there, but there's not as much room for creativity on this track. We're doing, I believe it was 28 laps on this one. Yeah, 28 laps. Lots of room on when to take your joker. Lots of room for creativity and expression there. So, yeah, it opens up the floodgates a little bit for these drivers to try something different and maybe switch things up a little bit compared to what they're used to. because I feel like just mid race Joker, I feel like it opens up a lot there. Um, Whereas again, like on those big tracks, I feel like most people tend to go one of two ways, which is bang them out early on or do them at the very end. Like that's what people tend to do. It tends to, you know, go one of those two ways. Like especially if you're able to take the Joker in the first lap, like either get them out of the way early on and bank on that, or again, like wait to the last moment possible until you have to, and then finally take them. I feel like that's what people tend to do on the longer tracks when there's not as many laps. When you have a track like this, I think it'll be a little bit more varied, and you know maybe there'll still be some similarities. Maybe some people will clump together a little bit, but it's probably gonna be more rare to see drivers go into the Joker. There you go. There you have one. I think Luke going in for Joker. Um, it'll be more rare to see drivers go in the Joker at the same time, which is actually a nice thing, I would say. Um, I think I think it's a good benefit to the racing because one, the Joker lane tends to be not all the time, but sometimes it can be designed in a way where it's like kind of meant to be taken by less drivers at once. You know, like it's not uncommon to see like a tighter Joker lane. So there's that factor. And then also obviously like the most one of the most sus parts of like these RX races is the rejoin, and you know, having less drivers in at once when those rejoins are going down make things a little bit safer. I had a nice there's a nice shot here. I had to show this shot. Watch this. That's we're a little ahead here. We're a little hold up. We're a little behind rather. We're a little behind. Here it comes. Nope, it's Hunter. Let's launch. Okay, we're close. Here we go. Oh, hell yeah. Probably not very fast, but it looked cool. Had to sit on that one. Slaunch had I'm pretty sure we just caught it. Should go back and rewatch Slaunch on lap 2. I think it's lap 2. I think I just barely caught it. He had a really close call as well. It was I don't think it could have been lap 1. I'm pretty sure it was lap 2. Had a really close call on the exit at turn 1, which is something that I'm surprised didn't happen more often. And here we go. This is what I was just saying was going to be kind of rare, but it happens here. We saw it happen earlier in the race too, but Luke and Camby taking the Joker at the same time. I think Luke making the pass in the Joker lane on Camby as well. But I do believe Camby has one more Joker to take, I think. So, you know, he's definitely behind here. But Luke settles the Jokers. That's it. Now it's just a Slaunch and, well, there you go. Detail taking his first, I believe. I was going to say Slaunch and Detail, the only ones that have both left to take, but that's no longer true, as Detail clearly just takes his first right there. He's looking very strong early on in this race, and there's some extra stuff at play here. Not only, you know, is this going to be a really big statement for the regular season championship that he's trying to lock in. He does have a very big advantage there. But, you know, if he can close out this win, it would even, you know, further that advantage. Yeah, obviously, it's a good start to the grand final, too. He's trying to take the grand final championship as well. But the Rallycross division title was the closest one. It was the closest battle that we've had all season. The Rallycross division points have been super tight, not just for the lead. That was a good one there out of Roman, too. Show that. But yeah, not just for the lead, but even like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Like there is just multiple crazy battles throughout the RX division. And this race is going to settle all of those battles. And the champ battle was between Detail and Luke, and it's looking right now like Detail is going to take that. But yeah, it was most of the division titles, well, pretty much all of them except for this one. Yeah, like all of them except for this one were like pretty much wrapped up going into the night. This was the one that was literally a tie going in for the top spot. And again, it looks like Detail is probably going to take that. And then again, I believe it was Slaunch with a 2-point advantage in 3rd. And then I think it was 3 drivers behind him tied for 4th, 5th, and 6th as well. So there's just like multiple battles at play in this very first race of the night, and settling those. There goes Slaunch. I believe that's his first Joker. Getting close to the end here too. I'm happy that this track turned out pretty decent though. Even though the track itself has been available for a long time. I did wrap up the actual forge and the bordering and a few of the sections as well. I wrapped up a lot of this like pretty close to the grand final. I'm glad to see that there's some good racing and here's some good battles at different points. It did settle out a little bit here towards the end, but we did see some good stuff. And yeah, I'm glad it turned out as well as it did. Again, considering that, like I said, I just don't feel as confident in these Deuce Forges anymore because I just don't have as much of the passion for it. So I'm happy that this like even acknowledging that this still turned out decent. Like even though I knew it wasn't going to be like my favorite thing to finish it up, didn't completely phone it in. I think I still got a pretty good track here. And Slaunch really holding out. This is Slaunch, Roman, and Luke in that order. And Roman looks to have the advantage. He might get second place here, but Slaunch, it'll be interesting to see where he comes out because he still has another Joker to take. Detail in front, he just got his last one done, so he's for sure, unless he makes a major error here, he's for sure taking the first race of the night, which would, again, be a huge statement. Be a big win for him here. And it'll already wrap up one title for him on the night. There it is. This is the last lap. Slaunch takes his Joker. And we can clearly see Roman and Luke both will get it. So it'll be Detail, Luke, Roman. Sorry to spoil it, but I mean, you could clearly see the gaps. Like, that'll be the podium unless something wild happens. But Slaunch will very, very, very clearly take that fourth place. And there it is. Congrats to Detail. Big win. Just very strong race, very clean. A lot of the other drivers, Roman second, Luke third, Slaunch fourth. A lot of the other drivers seem to have their issues at different points in the race, and maybe Detail had like a small hiccup, but for the most part, he looked very clean. And I think that that, and then Cammy and Hunter, I think that combined with the pace, like obviously he had good pace, obviously he had good starting position, but he seemed to just not, I'm sure there was a mistake or two in there. I don't think he made as many as anybody else, so I think that that really added up in the end to that gap. But then Camby, iPod, Soul, and Hunter. So there you go. Final results for the first race of the night, Brands Hatch RX, and big win to Detail. Congrats to him. It's not only going to put him in a very good position for the regular season and the grand final to start off the night, it will wrap up that division title. He is your RX division champion for the season, so congrats to him on that. See you guys in the next race.